What's up, guys? Good evening. I'm Mason Sapesky. Welcome to my new series, Mondays with Mason. So just a brief summary about the series before we begin. Every Monday, I will post a video discussing a certain topic in sports and give my opinions on it for this new series of, as I mentioned, called Mondays with Mason. And it'll just be like a weekly talk video, where I'll just give, like I just said, where I'll give my opinion about something in sports. And also too, this will be posted every Monday, or at least I'll try to post it every Monday. It'll be filmed at least on Mondays. Some weeks it might be posted on Tuesdays and all that, but I'll try to post it Mondays, so yeah. And every Monday too, I will wear one of my jerseys. As you can see here, I have a WVU jersey on, and I know I'm a Pitt person, but you'll see why I'm wearing this WVU jersey in a minute, because it actually reflects today's topic as to why I'm wearing a WVU jersey. But I'll be showing you some of my jersey collection. It's a large one, and I'm trying to wear as many of them as possible, because actually this one including, a lot of them are Youth XL jerseys, which surprisingly still fit me, considering I wear a male medium or a male large. A lot of times now male large is what I get, but considering I'm surprised these jerseys still fit me somewhat fine. But long story short, I've had this WVU jersey a long time because I was a WVU fan when my cousin went there. She graduated a couple years ago. She actually just got married this past weekend, so congratulations to her. So that's why I decided to wear this jersey, and it also reflects my topic for today. And today's topic, if you could guess, is conference realignment. So I tried last week filming a show about the MLB trade deadline. Unfortunately, YouTube didn't let me because it was way too long. So it was like 45 minutes, so I get it. So I'm going to have to try to be a little shorter than 45 minutes today. Put it at that with this one. So yeah, I'll try to be as quick as possible. But today's topic was conference realignment. I was torn between either this or the Penguins trading for Erik Karlsson, what's happened yesterday. I'll real quickly mention that since I talked about it just now, but I don't think they did as good as some other people do. I mean, I like the addition of Karlsson, but I don't like the fact that we had to give up Smith or the first-round draft pick to get him. Everything else I like dumping, but other than those two people, I'm happy we got Karlsson, but I would have probably paid lesser of a price. I am though happy we didn't give up the guy we got this year, Braden Yager or Owen Pickering, in that deal, so I was happy about that. That's my take on that issue real quick. But now we are on to conference realignment. And the reason I'm wearing this WVU jersey is because WVU's conference, the Big 12, just got a little bit of a shakeup. It's late at night, so I'm sorry about the bugs and all that noise as I type into my iPad here to pull up what I want to talk about. I'll be using this a lot. I'll be using my computer. I'll be using my iPad and computers a lot too for this, in case I need to pull up statistics for anything. But let me try myself, actually, because I'm going to have to do that. But let me try myself to go through the timeline first of conference realignment, and I'll give you my opinion on each thing that happened in it. And we're going to go actually not just back to what happened this past week. We're going to go way back to 2021 when this all started. Let me get some light on in here just to make sure I could do that real quick. Alright, I think that looks a little better and a little cooler, to be honest. So back in 2021, as you guys all know, COVID happened. A lot of college sports were affected. Some of them were even canceled. Football was abbreviated. Basketball 2020, obviously, we all know the tournament was canceled. 2021, it was all held in the state of Indiana and the Indianapolis area. But that was a big revenue hit for the schools. The schools needed to find some way, somehow, to recoup that. And one of the better things were the new TV deals, possibly. These colleges wanted the best new TV deals as possible so that they could and this is just my opinion, so that they could recoup that money they lost from the pandemic and also possibly try to get the best TV deal so they're better off for the future financially. Well, in 2021, right after COVID, well, it was after COVID because the vaccines and all that, and most people were vaccinated, summer of 2021, Oklahoma and Texas did not like the Big 12's media deal. So they opted out of that, and they decided to say goodbye to Big 12 and hello to the SEC. Sorry to burp real quick. I loved this move because I think Oklahoma and Texas will be good fits in the SEC. At first I was like, oh boy, it's going to be a little weird. But now I actually like it. Thinking about Oklahoma playing Alabama on a routine basis. The Texas A&M rivalry, which will be great, being reunited or reignited or whatever that word is. Sorry about that. Oklahoma, Florida, Texas, Florida, South Carolina, Texas, Tennessee, Oklahoma. There are so many good games now. LSU, Oklahoma, Texas, LSU. There are so many good games we can now look forward to because of this. I give that, my grade for that realignment's an A- because I was really happy about that. That's when realignment was minor. It was just a minor thing. Oklahoma and Texas leaving Big 12 for the SEC. So that's all. I like that, so I'll give that an A-. 2022 now we progress to. And this is where the beginning of the end for the Pac-12 gets underway. USC and UCLA are left the Pac-12 to go to the Big Ten. This move seemed a little weird at first for me because the Big Ten's mostly comprised of the Midwest. But when I saw what they were actually doing, trying to go from coast to coast, their New York market, which is Rutgers, now all the way out to their new Los Angeles market, which will be USC and UCLA, it makes so much sense, and it's going to bring so many good matchups. Like, seriously, who can't wait for USC Penn State, USC Ohio State, Michigan USC, USC Wisconsin, UCLA Illinois, UCLA Wisconsin, UCLA Minnesota. There are way too many good matchups. I'm getting excited just talking about this. This was probably my favorite move of realignment. I give this an A++. Even higher than that if I could give it a grade, but I loved this move. And then at that point, I was like to myself, okay, I kind of like this realignment. I don't think we need to go any further. And really, I didn't think we needed to go any further because, look, the Big 10 was content, ACC was content, SEC was content, the Big 12 was all good because, I'm sorry I forgot this, but the Big 12 added UCF, BYU, Cincinnati, and Houston. I like those, and I'll give that an A because that made the Big 12 yet again competitive. So, realignment is perfect so far, and plus we still have the Pac-12. I was originally like to myself, once all the realignment chatter this summer began, like, is Colorado going to leave? Sorry about that. Is Colorado going to leave? What's the Pac-12 going to look like? Is Florida State done in the ACC? What's going on? I was like to myself, I don't think there's going to be any realignment. And once we got to the middle of July, I was like almost like celebrating because I thought to myself, I was right. There is no major realignment since this summer, as everybody said. Turns out I was wrong big time. I think it was the 27th of July, but sometime at the end of July, Colorado announced they were leaving the Pac-12, going back to the Big 12, which reduced the Pac-12 to 9 teams. Big 12's up to 13. I was okay with this move. I'll give it a B. That's my grade for it because Colorado's going back home to the conference where they belong. I didn't think it made much sense at first because Colorado playing UCF, Colorado playing WVU, Colorado playing Cincinnati, that doesn't make sense to me. So, but again, at the same time, that was Colorado's original conference, so I'll be nice and I'll give that one a B. Then last Thursday going into Friday, the realignment noise began after the Pac-12 unveiled its new TV deal with Apple. Now, I'll just give you my input on streaming real quick. I do like streaming, to be honest. I'm a fan of it. However, I think for now, we still have like the older generations and stuff. I think for now, that these networks still, or these conferences still need to be offering all these games on live TV. Now, if you want to stream games, that's great, and I love streaming. However, I just prefer there would be an on-TV option. Like this football game that Peacock is streaming, it's going to be the Washington Huskies and the Michigan State Spartans. Future conference rivals, we'll get to that in a minute, but it's going to be on Peacock exclusively. I'm not a fan of that because Comcast, the TV provider, now charges for Peacock. People can't get some of these like Apple TV, Peacock, these streaming services without paying. Some people still want to have cable TV, so you're basically paying for cable TV and streaming at the same time. That's actually costing you more. It's forcing you to spend more money and work more. I think working is a great thing, but I'd like to have I'd like to have more options with my money, so not all tied up with TV, if you get what I'm saying. So I think it's good in a way, but it's bad. But Pac-12 announced this new streaming thing with Apple that they were going to offer if the schools finalized it. It was horrible. None of the schools liked it. So guess what? Arizona Friday sends an application in to be admitted to the Big 12. That application gets approved. We can see the Pac-12 crumbling. The Pac-12 is now down to 8 teams. The Big 12 is up to 14 for 2024 and beyond. This year, the Big 12 will be at 14 because Oklahoma and Texas will still be around. And those 4 new schools, the ones I just mentioned, BYU, Cincy, Houston, UCF, are all coming in this year for 2023. So those are the schools that will be affected this year. So there's 14 Big 12 this year, and there's also going to be 14 Big 12 next year. Actually, it's 16. We'll get to that in a minute. So after that, okay, so now we have an 18 Pac-12. Maybe call it the Pac-8. Well, not for long, because we'll get to that later, as I've been saying. But Oregon and Washington decided they were going to leave the crumbling Pac-12 for the new mega Big 10. I love this move. I'm giving this move another A+. Obviously, you could probably tell I'm a Big 10 fan because my dad went to Penn State, so I grew up a Penn State fan my whole life before I decided to go to Pitt. I like all the Big 10 schools, or mostly all the Big 10 schools, to be honest with you, but I'm a huge Big 10 fan, so that's why I'm giving all these Big 10 moves A+, and it's so good to see these new rivalries being created in their conference. So I love the fact that Oregon and Washington are Big 10 bound. That's great for them, and that's great for everybody. Who can't wait for Oregon, Ohio State, Michigan, Washington, Oregon, Penn State, Washington, Wisconsin, Oregon, Wisconsin, Minnesota, Washington. There are so many new good rivalries that are coming with this realignment. Sorry again. Even though we're losing the older ones, like Washington, Wazoo State, or Washington State, or whatever they call it out there. Sorry about that, Washington State fans. Oregon and Oregon State. We might be losing Bedlam. We might be losing some of those smaller rivalries, but we're also gaining ones that are going to be even better and that are going to mean more and showcase the best athletes to the whole country, not just a certain region or a certain metropolitan area, or you get what I'm talking about. So I love this new Big 10. I'm giving it an A+. So the Pac-12 is now down to a whopping 6 teams. Until Arizona State and Utah say, we're going to the Pac-12 or the Big 12 to compete against WVU here. I'm not a fan of this. I'm going to give this a C. This is my least favorite move of realignment because it killed the Pac-12 as we know it. There's currently 4 teams now that are going to be in the Pac-12 after this year. Oregon State, Washington State, Stanford, and Cal. That's not a lot. They're all going to go somewhere else. I heard today there's rumors of Stanford and Cal possibly coming to join us, meaning Pitt, in the ACC, which I would love. I would give that an A because bring them to Acrisure and show them the beautiful city that we have. What happens then to Oregon State and Washington State? They have to go elsewhere. Most likely ops in Mountain West Conference. Maybe even ACC or something like that. But yeah, for sure. The Pac-12 is done, unfortunately. It was a great conference and most people will miss it. But I love the fact that we now have Oregon, Washington, USC, and UCLA competing against the best of the best in the Big Ten with Ohio State, Michigan, Penn State, Wisconsin, Minnesota, Iowa. Those are going to create many new rivalries. So I love that. Just my glimpse of the realignment thing as a whole. I think in large part this is all done to get some more money back because of the revenue losses from the pandemic. But I'm a fan of it and I'm not a fan of it. The reasons I'm a fan of it is because I do like the idea of mega conferences and makes college sports more pro-like. We now have more cross-country rivalries. Like I just mentioned, Washington and Rutgers, or cross-country games as a matter of fact. Washington and Rutgers, Penn State, UCLA. These athletes now are going to get to go to places that they never imagined they would go. I mean, look, West Virginia against Arizona. And look at basketball. I was just thinking about this today. Kansas against Arizona, maybe twice a year in college basketball. I mean, who would say no to that? UCLA, they've been a basketball powerhouse against a team like Purdue, maybe twice a year in college basketball. Who says no to that? Those are the reasons I'm a fan of realignment. These new rivalries, these new games we've been craving for, and plus it makes college sports more exciting. The new TV deals are more exciting. Some of them I do think will work out, but some of them I don't think will work out. But it makes college sports more exciting. The reasons I'm not a fan of it, there won't be a Pac-12 anymore. The ACC, which is what Pitt's in, which I'm worried about kind of, will get shaken up probably here next year, if not next year, the year after, or maybe even this year. But there's no more Pac-12. I'm going to miss the Pac-12 probably. And those regional, like Washington State against Washington, Oregon State, Bedlam, those are all coming in, and unfortunately, but it's time for some new rivalries, which will be interesting, fun, and enjoyable. So, overall, I can see why people are opposed to the realignment. It's going to look really weird. I get it. I agree. It's going to look really weird. However, it's going to give these and it's going to be tough on some athletes and stuff. However, with this NIL and all that, it gives those athletes that are thinking about going to the next level, the pros, the chance to possibly experience something pretty darn close to what the pros will be like. And it will help like those teams in the NFL scouting departments, the MLB scouting departments, NBA scouting departments, etc. of which players can play the best in big games. There's going to be more big games, so that should really make scouting departments all over the country happy and all that. So overall, my ultimate grade for this realignment stuff would probably be a B. I'd give it probably an 85 on a scale of 100, but I really do like it. Like I said, it's going to be a little weird for a while, but we'll all adjust. Hopefully those 4 remaining Pac-12 schools can find new homes. So yeah, we'll definitely follow along with the new college realignment and stuff as it begins actually this year. Like I just said, with UCF, Cincy, BYU, and Houston all joining the Big 12 this year, it's going to begin this year, and we're going to get to see like some of the little effects of it starting this year. So I'll have way more on college football for you as the year progresses, especially Pitt and all that since I'm going there. But other than that, that's really all I have for you tonight. I'll see you next Monday, August 14th, for the next episode of Mondays with Mason. I hope you guys enjoyed this first episode, and I hope you guys tune in every week. Have a good night out there. Take care and stay safe. Peace.